DXY. So yeah, crazy price action. DXY has been pretty bullish since CPI on Tuesday. Nice reaction to the upside. We've been favoring a bit of dollar strength coming to the market, mainly because the market's been looking very tired. We've been operating in this bearish channel here. And yeah, the biggest takeaway has been the dollar's been looking very tired, very corrective in nature, not seeing much momentum. So the plan has been looking for some dollar strength coming to the market and looking for some buying opportunities to follow that strength. Hasn't really set up how I wanted it to, but I'm still going to keep an eye for some buying opportunities. Of course, we've had these weird wicks in either direction, wick to the upside, wick to the downside. You know, it did a good job at spiking people out, whether you're buying or selling yesterday intraday. You know, if you were selling, that might have taken you out the trade. If you were buying, that might have taken you out the trade as well. And the market will sometimes be a little bit chaotic like that from time to time. But the key thing is we're still maintaining the breakout. We're still maintaining the bullish momentum. We are a little bit sideways at the moment here, but I still do think we can break higher and see higher prices. And the plan would just be looking for pullbacks and higher lows along the way. And of course, that would translate into other USD pairs, which we'll go through in a moment. But the DXY, I'm looking for more upside. And in terms of targets, really, I'm looking at these highs here as targets where we could possibly see a swing to. I'm not necessarily overly bullish on the dollar in terms of I'm expecting a big reversal. I'm also kind of just playing it by the day, really, because I still do think the bigger move for the DXY is still to the downside. I think if we do see an up move, it's probably going to be a retracement for us to keep falling. So I still do have the expectation that we are going to keep falling. So therefore, I'm being a bit more cautious with the buys. I like the buys, but I'm not looking for anything crazy like a complete reversal. We'll see as things develop. But as for now, in terms of targets for the buys, as I said, looking at these areas here. So this would be the first target, second, third, along the way. But for now, still very bullish on the dollar. So we'll see how that does develop throughout the day. It is looking a little bit choppy now, so I'm hoping to see a bit more momentum with the buys again before you start to look for a pullback. But that's really what I'm after. Taking that into EURUSD, which pretty much did the same thing, of course, in the opposite direction. Bunch of wicks there, making things very awkward. But the key thing with euro dollar again is the breakout of the channel. So price was operating within this channel for quite some time, seeing higher highs and higher lows. Then finally we got the breakout on CPI Tuesday earlier this week. You could probably look at this as the retest, although it's a bit awkward with a humongous wick, but it's equivalent to a retest essentially of the channel or of this area of supply. And I do think EURUSD can continue to fall. This of course is going to be the first big target for euro. I'm still not looking to short just yet, at least on the 4-hour chart, which is the time frame I use for my entries. Main reason because of that is because we've been slowly dying here to the down, so we've been falling. So the market is a little bit corrective, it's a little bit stretched right now. I kind of want us to pick up some momentum, then give us a bigger pullback, and that's something I'll be interested to short, because I can have a much bigger up move, the market can stretch to the upside and give me some more quality opportunities for a sell. At the moment, I think intraday there might be some opportunities to follow that lower, but nothing on the 4-hour chart for me just yet. But this is what I'm looking for, somewhat of a head and shoulder pattern. You got the left shoulder, the head, and now of course that will be the right shoulder. This will be somewhat of your neckline, and that will be the opportunity I'm interested to short. And similar with the DXY, these will be the targets for euro dollar on the way down. I still think euro dollar's bigger move is likely to be to the upside longer term, but we might see a nice counter trend, counter bearish trend, which is probably worthwhile to take advantage of. So I'm going to keep a close eye on euro dollar, especially with how the DXY does develop as well. But yeah, I do need some momentum to pick up because we're looking awfully corrective. We might have broken out the channel successfully, but it's looking very chaotic right now and very corrective, so the shorts are not looking that appealing. But let's say if momentum can pick up, find a pullback, maybe even to retest that same area, this could actually be a very smart buy. Probably lines up with the retest of that high there as well. So That's something I'm really paying attention to for euro dollar, but that's probably still a few days away from forming. In terms of pound, which is probably my favorite dollar pair at the moment right now in terms of opportunities, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Of course, this one broke out the channel actually quite a while ago now. This one has seen a bit more momentum than euro, so it looks a little bit better. And I quite like what I'm seeing here with pound USD. We haven't quite taken out this low yet, but I think we're likely to do that. We did wick through it slightly, but haven't really seen a strong candle closure below. But I do think it's only a matter of time before we do break through the low here. And that will be a break of structure, which is essentially what I'm looking for to really validate this bearish bias, because I'm not keen in terms of following this uptrend. I've been saying that for quite a while, just because it looked quite tired. We've taken out some major highs recently as well. So I know that we are a little bit more vulnerable to pullbacks. You know, after taking out a major high, and the fact that we are quite corrective is normally a recipe for a bigger pullback at some stage, and that's what I'm banking on. And at this moment in time, that looks like exactly what we're seeing. So going forward with pound USD, I'll be looking to see if we can find a retest of this area. We had that crazy spike yesterday, didn't quite have enough to test that area, so it's still kind of relatively fresh. So if I can see something like this happen, take out the lows, bigger pullback, lower high, that's what I'll be interested for shorting pound USD. So the first lower high in this bearish sequence, that'll be something I'll be very keen to trade. And in terms of targets, nothing too crazy, probably just to push back into this area where we saw that first kind of shift in momentum to create that channel. So 1.32, 1.325 would be a lovely place to target. And again, similar to Euro USD, I don't think pound's going to have a massive reversal here. I think it's more of just of a bigger pullback for more upside longer term. So it's not an opportunity which I'm looking to short and just seeing how far I can take. I'll probably close my position there and perhaps start getting ready for some buys if I see some healthy signs of that happening. But for now, that's really what I'm interested in. And again, this opportunity probably doesn't present until next week. It's already Thursday already. And I doubt we push down and push and pull back by the end of tomorrow. So it's probably an opportunity for next week. In terms of dollar CAD, looking remotely bullish, I'll give it that. I haven't been the biggest fan of dollar CAD. I was at the start of last week because I was looking for the break of this channel here. I just didn't get the entry. It happened very early in the week, and the price was looking very bullish by the time I actually woke up last Monday. Or was it this Monday? No, last Monday. So I didn't manage an entry there, and then price starts to move very correctively in the middle of nowhere. I talked about this being a very significant level of support, and I talked about this being a significant area of resistance. I said I'm not really looking to do any business in between those two levels. It's either price is at resistance, perhaps we're talking about some shorts, or perhaps we're talking about some breakouts and some pullbacks for a higher low. You know, this is a big double bottom. That'll be a break of the neckline. Then I'll be looking for a higher low somewhere, and then some buys, so that would interest me. And also, we could see price push into resistance here and see a strong push down as well. So I can see price going both ways here for dollar CAD. It just depends what price does at those areas. And at the same time as well, I like this area here for a buy. I think this is a smart place for a buy. If I go to the daily chart, you can see we are trading at a major area of demand here. Massive move to the upside, creating those highs. We're back at an area where we saw that momentum come into the market once. Can we see it again? Absolutely. And we're probably already seeing signs of that happening. So going forward with dollar CAD, we just need to wait for price to get to one of those areas, and then we can start to talk about some opportunities. Of course, at this rate, it looks like we're about to push into resistance. So we'll see what we get there, whether it's the breakout or price respects it. There'll be opportunities in either direction. In terms of Aussie dollar, things are looking more interesting now with Aussie because we are seeing momentum finally, and it looks like we are breaking the channel more significantly, as we can see if I map it out there. So yeah, price, as you can see, very corrective on the way up here, but finally potential breakout here. I mean, I was saying that when we had this move, but as we can see in hindsight there, that was definitely not a breakout. Price came right back. I mean, it was a breakout, but it just turned to be a fake out. Price came back inside the range, and that could happen again, although very unlikely happens twice. not impossible, but just very unlikely. So I'm a bit more confident saying that this is the breakout because we've already had kind of a fake move now. So, and again, like I've been saying, when prices in this corrective nature like this, most of the time we do break lower. It's a clear sign that the trend is fatiguing, tired, not healthy, likely to push down. Very rarely would you see a market like this, keep and suddenly see a big up move. You will see that sometimes, of course. Again, everything is probabilities at the end of the day, not guaranteed to see a push down, but you're just more likely. So it looks like we are breaking out this channel now for Aussie dollar. I still think long-term Aussie dollar is going to be bullish. So the way I see it, we're pushing down, probably go collect some more buyers to continue higher. I'm looking around 0.63, 0.625 as areas I might consider to get long and take this back to the upside again. So yeah, I'm just looking at this as a bigger retracement. New Zealand dollar, same situation as well. We've got a lovely ascending channel here. It looks like price is just about smash into the low end of the channel. We'll see what price has in store for us after this. Because again, similar to Aussie dollar, I do think price is likely to break lower. Same pattern really, break lower, see a higher low, and then on we go. And we see a bigger move to the upside. It's just Aussie dollar's had a bit more of a tighter correction than New Zealand dollar, but the same pattern I believe is at play. So like I said, I'm not really interested in taking buys here. We might react potentially, but nothing that would interest me. I do think we will likely break through this area and see some more downside. In terms of gold, so gold's been interesting as well. This one has been all over the place. Of course, you can see the larger trend is firmly to the upside, so I'm very much a bull for gold. And as I've said for the past few days now, if I'm looking to get into any opportunities, it would be a retest of this area of support or a retest of this area of support down here. So those are the two kind of clear areas which I'll be happy to buy gold from. Main reason because price is chopping around, it is very chaotic. If I can find entries low, it means I'm away from all the noise, and I can find stop losses below that as well. So I can put my stop loss in a relatively safe area underneath these areas. I'm not saying that I'm immune from getting stopped out, but at least I'm away from all the noise here. So if I do get stopped out, I can always re-enter pretty quickly afterwards. And of course, price does break lower. I was in the wrong direction anyway. But these are more significant areas which I'll be happy to buy from. I want to stay away from all of this and be at the edges of that. So that's really what my expectation is. But I'm still very bullish with gold. And as for silver, I still very like silver. I have this right on the top of my watch list at the moment. As I said in the beginning of the week, looking for the retest of the high over here at 37.3. That's still very much my expectation. Looking to swing it right back to the high at 39, but more importantly, back into 40, which is the next big psychological level for silver. Really healthy break to the upside. Somewhat of an aggressive pullback, but it looks like we are slowing down and becoming a little bit more corrective, which is good to see. But yeah, just essentially looking for the retest of this area and looking for some buys. This whole range will provided that momentum. I do expect us to come back in here, successfully reject it and see more upside. Of course, I'll wait for price action to validate the signal and give me the confirmations before jumping into the trade. But that is really the area of interest for me. Then yeah, targets back to the high and then hopefully back to 40 and a lot further as well. It's a situation where I probably won't put targets, or at least the bulk of my position, I won't have targets. I'll just trail stops because we're in really healthy trending conditions right now. So I'm not going to try and limit that. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with USD for now.